6 years of game dev. Game development became a big thing in my life, and maybe it's also a big part in yours. Hi! In the past 6 years I've made countless games. One of them is played by thousands around the world, while others never saw the light of day. I want to walk you through my earliest projects, my little success stories, deepest failures, cringe moments and much more that led to where my work and also this channel is today. After each project I will add a short statement that sums up what I've learned while developing, all in the hope to help and motivate you to write your own game dev page, chapter or even book. It all began in late 2015 when my unfocused self, who always loved playing video games as a consumer, came across an ominous piece of software, a free game engine called Unity. I must have lived behind the moon for the last decade while video game development had become accessible to non-professionals outside the industry, which made this first encounter an even more magical moment. I did pretty well in other fields of traditional art, if you want to call it that way, and luckily I had booked a 3D modeling and animation workshop at the Art Academy I was enrolled back then. So the idea to jump over from a pre-rendered and rigid setup to an interactive and responsive medium like games were fascinated me incredibly. The seed of my indie game dream started to sprout. Therefore, I also encourage you all to join our supportive Discord community, where you're free to share your projects and become part of Community Spotlight. This video of course contains a members project at the end as well. I'm looking forward for your contributions and comments about your first experience in the crazy world of game dev, and I'd be super thankful if you click on that subscribe button thingy, which is a tiny act of kindness for you, but a huge boost for this channel, so thank you very much. This video was sponsored by Core. Core is equally great for players who love to join their friends and play a variety of games together, and developers who get to create, share and publish PC multiplayer games. As a player, Core has over 20k games in different genres like shooter, adventure, RPG, survival and more. Core is also a social hub where you can meet friends and create parties to jump between games instantly with no extra downloads. For you developers out there, Core allows you to create games without knowing how to code. There are thousands of high quality music, sound, art assets and frameworks that you can use to start making your own game right away. This is a great start if you're newer to game development. Core allows you to create your own game logic in Lua, and you can make your own scripts and 3D models. Core also has a built-in multiplayer, so you can publish your game instantly for others to play. Since Core is powered by Unreal Engine, your game will have high quality graphics for sure. You can also make money with your game through the Core Perks program. Core shares 50% of the revenue with its creators, and some creators have been able to find great financial success with the help of the Perks program. So download Core for free using the first link in the description. Okay, fasten your seatbelts, we're going in. Here we are in late 2015, and this is Test Project 1, the first ever game I made. You play a blue, poorly animated character that is able to simply jump and shoot lasers in a test scene containing platforms, enemies, a health kit and traps. There is no way you can win the game, but quite a few to lose it. And maybe this thing was not a game at all, but rather a vision of a coming future. To be honest, I had to rework quite a bit of the code to get it running again in a more recent version of the Unity editor, but hey, this was made at the very beginning of my game dev's journey, where I had absolutely zero programming knowledge. From today's perspective, it isn't much, but it's honest work. And it clearly shows that even for a noob like me back then, it was possible to create a simple interactive play. So to sum it up, I learned that everybody can learn to make games, no matter how much skills you have right now. And because I learned everything on my own, I also found out that YouTube has all the tutorials you need to get started, no matter which engine you're targeting. And speaking about YouTube being a learning resource, I recommend you 2 of my video playlists for that. One is my complete free tutorial series for beginners who'd like to create a game step by step from start till finish with Unity, and the other 2 videos about my favorite game dev channels on YouTube, so make sure to check them out. After I abandoned the test project, a deep, unexplainable arrogance overcame me in 2016. I thought in true belief in my incredible skills that I could make a better version of Super Mario World. And that was the beginning of Red Jack's adventure, and probably the most embarrassing video I ever uploaded. Let's have a look together. Welcome to the first demo level. In contrast to the Super Mario series, you have already at the beginning the ability for shooting enemies with energy, but be aware that with every shot your energy bar decreases. To protect you, just grab the jelly back cat and put it over you. Looks cute and is very helpful in many situations. I can't handle this. But back then I was super proud of what I achieved. Many people start talking about what they want to create and leave their vision to be a collection of blah blahs. But looking back, I must admit, hey, I tried, and that's the thing I've learned here. Just do it. Being skilled or experienced is one thing, but motivation, in my opinion, beats that because it gives you the strength to overcome hard tasks and keep the dice rolling. I'm curious if you agree on that or if you think differently. Let me know in the comments. Luckily, my father never deleted a further developed Android prototype from his old smartphone, and we can have a look at that version of the game as well. This feels already a bit better than the previous version, and it did actually have a handful of interesting elements. It had, for example, 3 cutscenes, and on top of that an educational touch. This cute ghost thing that fell from the sky in a meteorite explains to us where its home is in outer space. To find that out, you had to arrange the constellations on the sky. So what Red Jack Adventure taught me on a second level, your first project won't be a hit. But take it serious. Use it as a playground where you test mechanics and designs in a serious manner. Don't expect it to reach the top of the charts, but also keep up an attitude of pride for what you achieved. After this first, the more serious attempt, I wanted to check if game development could be something for a future career, and I asked a studio located in near city if I could come over and do an unpaid internship to see if this is something for me. Luckily their boss is a super friendly guy and he invited me, so I spent a month doing little tasks for them and taking a look how it could be to work in a game studio. I'm still today thankful for the opportunity they gave me, but what I learned overall was, I wanna go solo indie. But why? I was, because my skills were nowhere usable back then, only doing tiny tasks like drawing grass or some items. But I actually wanted to do everything in my personal games. I wanted to code them, to do the design, to plan the concept, to draw the art. Basically, I wanted to be my own boss, doing my own thing. And to prove that you don't even need an engine for digital games, I want to present you a project that some friends and I made at uni. Minefield Football. We crafted mechanical triggers made from old computer mice that shoot a signal whenever someone kicks a football at them. The impulse translated into a mouse click that just triggered an animation inside a PowerPoint presentation that was projected into a room to create a minimalistic outdoor situation. In the middle, someone playing football trying to score. But the playful installation had a deeper meaning. After a set amount of time, you would see an explosion uncovering a burned and destroyed version of the peaceful green environment, followed by statistics and information about landmine victims, a big number of whom are playing children. This project shows that you can use whatever technique you have to create an interactive experience. You don't need to code anything to deliver a message. After this workshop, I was motivated to dive even deeper into virtual worlds, and coincidentally it was the time of the VR hype. A bunch of cardboard VR goggles came out and I wanted to work with this accessible hardware. After a few tryouts with a VR dev kit from our school that resulted in nothing more than me creating a trashy but charming dinosaur world, I ended up developing an app that supposedly explored the possibilities of narratives and the user's emotion in virtual 3D spaces. Bullshit. I just wanted to create a cool VR app. Additionally, I built a construction to lift up the user into air using an old chair. Oh, and it also had some wind from a fan. The person using the device follows a glowing sphere that guides the user's eye through a dark, low-poly world with deep canyons, narrow shafts and impossible rooms filled with spherical light. Although looking outdated today, it was a cool experience when people at the finals exhibition came by to try it out. What did I learn? Focus on one thing at a time. A stronger focus on one of the elements could have helped the work much more. It was an artistic approach there, which touched a lot of fields, but nothing was elaborated deeply enough, I guess. And a very personal conclusion, never VR again, I was just fed up with it at the end. So the study year was over and the summer began. I spent a lot of time at my parents' place in the mountains. Out there, I thought that the slightly abandoned village I'm from could need some more visibility. So I started working on a fox trail-like game that used geolocationing to guide the players to certain real-life spots through the game. I made it an augmented reality experience for families with kids in which you play as a young fox exploring the valley. It was an educational approach with quiz games and a lot of playfully designed ways to interact with the environment. And local small stores that still live traditional craftsmanship should have a platform too within the game. I pitched my idea to a cultural support program hosted by my university. But naive as I was, I talked too much about the project with my competitors, which I assumed were friends. They took my concept, made it into a book, and with the help of their mentor, sitting in the jury, they got $10,000 cash while I got a useless piece of paper telling me how nice it was that I participated. So I learned once and for all, be careful who you're talking to. And at the same time, I really wanted to make games for gamers from now on. I just didn't want to hear any more boomers telling me about what works and what doesn't. I guess you all know what I'm talking about. Yes, I was disappointed and I was angry. But that's not the end of the story. Actually, it was the start of something way better, which I will be showing you in the second part. Because this video is getting really long, I decided to split it up in 2 parts, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the second video where I'll talk about the other half of my 6-year game dev journey, including the Mecha Devlog series and much more. By the time it's being released, you will find the video in the end card. To finish this video and to remind you to submit your creation to our great Discord, I want to show you a members project called Ordnance. Ordnance is a bullet hell game where you steer a tank and try to survive in arenas filled with a variety of enemy tanks. Some chase you, others are huge, and I must admit that the game was harder to beat than expected. You can just play it for free in your browser, no download required, find the link below in the description. Alright my dear friends, thank you for watching, let me know what you think about this type of video in the comments or ask anything else you want to know. I wish you the very best guys, hope to see you in part 2 again. Thanks again to Core for sponsoring this video, you can use the link in the description to download Core for free. Cheers!